What's up, everybody? Matt Gajeski here, back again with the Odd Shopper channel, and we are continuing our college football team preview series with the Miami Hurricanes today and talking about their best bet ahead of this season. Before we get started, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all other content goes live. We are also brought to you today by BetMGM, and they have a phenomenal offer for you guys where you can get up to $1,000 in a risk-free bet with your first deposit. All you have to do is click the link in the video description below or use the promo code OSCFB to take advantage of that offer. All right, Miami is on deck. They're a really fun team to talk about. New coaches here. They bring in Mario Cristobal. They bring in OC Josh Gaddis. And we know Mario Cristobal is recruiting at an intense level. I mean, this team already 16th in recruiting this year. They have a projected top 10 finish next year. The question is, can that make a difference for Miami in this upcoming season, or will we have to wait? Well, when we look at the conference overall, Clemson's the favorite to win the ACC. They're minus 120. And then you have Miami. They're coming in second. They're plus 550 to win the conference. And they're actually plus 155 to win the Coastal, which I think is a solid number here. But overall, I do like this 8.5 win total. And there's a lot of reasons why. I'll start you guys off with the schedule. It's fairly winnable. You have 3 games in non-con that they should take care of, and then Texas A&M. Now, that's going to be a tough game. I think there'll be pretty big dogs in that game, probably around a touchdown, maybe more. We can chalk that up to a loss, and I still think we can cover the win total. Bethune-Cookman, Southern Miss, Middle Tennessee State, those should be wins. Then in conference, your toughest games come against Clemson. They'll be an underdog there, but then they should be favored in every other game. You do have Pittsburgh. That could be close to a pick 'em. So let's say for the sake of this argument, you have losses to Texas A&M, loss to Clemson, and a loss to Pittsburgh. Well, you still cover the win total. That's a 9-3 season, and the rest of their schedule is completely manageable. The next most difficult game is probably North Carolina or Florida State, both very winnable games for this roster, and let's dive into that. It's a solid roster overall. This team lost De'Aaron King last year, but fortunately that allowed Tyler Van Dyke to get a lot of playing time. And he's a guy that played really well in a small sample, completed 62.3% of his passes for 9 yards per attempt, 25 touchdowns, and just 6 interceptions. He's not the most mobile, but we like he's pushing the ball downfield, and he doesn't have a bad turnover ratio. This is a guy that is taking care of the ball, which is going to be solid in Josh Gaddis' scheme, which does lean on the run a little bit, which I think is something they'll do here. They have good running backs. Jalen Knighton returns. He had over 500 yards last year on just 145 carries, and he's a solid pass catcher. He caught 20 balls, and he could be a guy that kind of plays in that Blake Corum role for the Josh Gaddis offense. They also have Donald Chaney still on the roster, but I think they're going to use Henry Parrish quite a bit. The Ole Miss transfer comes in. He was a back that rushed for over 500 yards himself in a committee, 5'10", 195 pounds for Parrish. They have a lot of dudes, and it's deep in this Miami running back core. The offensive line should be improved as well here. They're a team that lost 2 starters, but they returned some pretty good players. DJ Scaife and Zion Nelson should be the tackles this year. They're both awesome. Shakai Clark comes back to man the center position, and Jalen Rivers is a dude that's been hyped up intensely during camp. A lot of people saying he's been their best offensive lineman, which would be awesome for a player expected to take a big step forward this year. They're also pretty deep. They landed some Oregon transfers on the offensive line, and maybe they won't have to play this year. Maybe they will, but having some former 4 stars there could be a big difference for them if they're injured at any point this year. Receiver will also be good. They return Xavier Restrepo. He should be the starting slot receiver. Only played on 32% of the dropbacks, but played really well, over 2 yards per route run in a small sample. They also add Clemson transfer Frank Ladson, who's firmly been working with the first team during camp. The big issue with Ladson's been injury, so they're hoping he can stay healthy. And then Jacoby George has been the last starter at wide receiver. And that goes without even discussing tight end Will Mallory, who's been a veteran and a productive player for this team throughout the course of his career. On defense, this should be a good unit as well. 7 returning starters, and they hammered the transfer portal and have some really high-profile players coming in. Mitchell Gude comes over from UCLA, where he had 15 starts in his career. He's been opening eyes during camp. Daryl Porter comes over at the cornerback position from West Virginia. He started 13 games there and has been really good. And even Maryland transfer Daryl Jackson has been a guy that's really opened eyes in camp. Same with Akeem Mesidor coming over from West Virginia, all in the defensive line, which is going to be a solid unit. Without even considering, they have 6 recruits on this defense of at least 4 stars or better here. One last player I'll mention here, Avante Williams. He's been opening eyes at safety, and that'll go right along with Tyreek Stevenson, a guy who had honorable mention all ACC honors at corner, and James Williams, another guy who was honorable mention all ACC at safety. It's a strong unit overall. So when we look at how they match up against that schedule I mentioned earlier, I do think they take care of business against the teams they're supposed to. A&M, we can chalk that up to a loss, but I do think the game against Pitt is going to be something where Miami's slightly favored, and they should play Clemson tight this year too. Over 8.5 wins is currently sitting at -135. It's been moving that direction, and you have to lay a little bit of juice, but I still think this is a solid play. And if you want something that's just a little bit more favorable in terms of odds, you can look at Miami to win the ACC plus 550 is a decent price there. Something I'm willing to lay for sure with Miami. But let me know what you guys think about this Miami Hurricanes team in the comments section. Ahead of this year, what players you like, anything you thought about this video. I will make sure to get back to you. I am Matt Kajeski on Twitter at Matt_Kajeski. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you again next time.